Okay, hi everyone. My name is Jimin. Today I will going to talk about data analysis job in 2020 and how to become an effective analysis management. Firstly, I will to talk about what is data analysis and why I choose data analyst for future career. As we know, everything around us can be considered as is data. What we can see, hear, count can be represented in data. For example, we see one man on the street. Our brain will capture some characteristics about the man, such as clothes, voice, skin, and say on data in the brains. The interesting is how our brain can consider what is the primary data, second data, or the relevant data, and memorize on the collected data to create a conclusion that it is meant. Data analysis goes like that. We analyze data, make a decision, what kind of data, and what is the data tell us. Data analysis is an interesting job more than that we think about data. It is about what data tell us about everything. To more clearly, I go back with the first example. Why we know that it is man, not woman, and when and why we make the decision, and how we know that is the man, not woman. And data analysis will tell us about what is the man. Data analysis job. Data analysis is a collect, interpret. Data analysis is about collecting, interpret, analyze data to optimize decision. So data is up in 2020. Sorry, data analysis in 2020 get more opportunity to do because the development of Internet of Things data is more bigger, so they need data analysis to analyze data, and so in the future, very high chance to get a job in data analysis. So in 2020, for me, because data is become bigger, so there we can have three kinds of data analysis. Is professional analysis, governance analysis, and reality analysis. So the first one is professional analysis, is how they require some professional skill in coding and creating language to sort data like SQL or excellent Excel skill. The second one is governance analysis. Is for they require the statistical skill, and the last one is reality analysis. Is about who have ability to route straight and buttons for the data. Now I'm moving on to working issue could happen in working environment. The first case is assume that I got a new job in new data is a new data manager in an education environment, specifically in a school environment. And I don't have any experience uh, about working in school, and don't have I don't know how to begin in and where to start. Uh, so So the question is how to prepare myself to achieve the success in new working environment. So I think I can apply MBA 600 about knowing, doing, and being in my case. Knowing means, in this case, knowing means is I have to identify my strength and weakness. Doing means playing what the role I have to play in a new school environment. Being is mean I have to research my goal. So in this case, I can apply SWOT model. I can apply SWOT model to identify my strength and weakness. So the model is shown in the presentation. My strength is about my professional skill in IT. I got an IT background, so I put in there is about I got a high experience in SQL, query, and good skill in Excel. And I got previous experience about computer, about manager in my own company. So I put in here there in strength. A weakness for me is I don't have any experience in education or any lack of communicate with teacher, and yeah, and I don't have any experience. I don't know about the skills that my partner, my team, about every member in my team. Uh, so that is weakness. Opportunities, I have because I got experience in my business before. So for me, opportunity is about I can adapt in with a new role very easy, and I can organize planning and do that. So I refer to you IT management activity in my case, and try to adapt with the new working environment. So in use of IT knowledge, so I summarize into is enable knowledge conversation into electronic forums. This means I have I write a small group discussion for everybody. We contact with by FaceTime video conversation to discuss about it. That is in the working place. In outside, we can have some coffee meeting room, talking about our job or our friendly to make to create a strong relation. Uh, and I hope I can get more chance to know of their individuals' personal ability, their strength and weakness. And after that, I can decide what job is suitable for them, and how can they do a best job to achieve our goals. Thrice. Okay, very hard to pronounce. Good. So we consider in school environments, I consider that is about the goals, because we have to collect data from teacher, from education provider, for and analyze and certify the request from the teacher or from manager. So I have to good communicate with other teacher to know how their timetable and how they got a free time, and after that I can collect the data and have to understand some slang language in education, and that's it about China. That is just a short squat to to uh, to identify myself in a new data manager in school. So I will move in on the K2. This is very complexity case. I decided to combine my knowledge about internal data, external data, and this is just about I imagine, not real. Everything here not real. So in case two is about um, NZ Bank and offshore decision. I read I read on the internet and I saw NZ Bank decide to offshore activity because some internal uh, factor, some external factor in Australia and make them they couldn't get a high success in Australia, so they decide to offshore. So I put that case in my case issue to use to in data management. So here we have to look in here is about the overview of the model. So I'm going to use Bextor model for external data, Butterfly Force model for internal data, and after the use of the model is not about we analyze strategy, about we see some some factors could happen, and after that we can choose the correct data. Not about we couldn't choose from forum, from social media, from tax station, or some from the government too. That is one how I think we choose like data areas, a good data areas. So before I'm going to choose good data areas, I have to know what factor can influence the data. So I'm going to use Bextor model to to collect data, the data collect from the other bank, from the bank industry, from the tax station, or from recommendation from financial advisor, and I use Butterfly Force model to analyze competitive analyze competitive competitive some effects on the business strategy inside the organization. So that is the data. So I play its role as a data manager. So it divides two parts in my group. One part is they work on Bextor model. One part work in Butterfly Force model. So after they finish the model, they analyze what factor can impact, can influence or impact on the Bextor model external data, and they go back again. They'll go back from the mean. So where they get the data come from? So we make a small areas of data what we call chosen data. And on the other hand, internal data do the same. So after two groups working in different goals, after that, when we finish, we combine our collected data. So I will moving on to data. So we got all picture about data. After that, we will analyze data, and is that the collected data, and use collected data to write a report and send to journal to the letter manager, and to influence manager data. I think that a good thing is about I think a good thing is I will tell them where data collect from. It's not from randomly. It's not from some website or some personal idea. It's from the we will like we do like in a model. We use Bechtel model. So we categorize data and we put in external data. We categorize internal data and put in categories data. And we do it by our experience and knowledge, not about just touch the data and touch everything, article or sources, just about put the keyword ANZ offshore decision and we touch it. It's not works like that. So that's what we think. That's what I think how to decide it. Okay, the next page because it's too hard to do by myself for 10 minutes and a lot of model. So I choose the Bechtel model to illustrate what I think. So in here, for example, I think about political influence. We all know what is Bechtel space. Yeah. So look in here, political influence. So the first row is about Australia banking industry dominated by four highly competitive banks: CBA, Westpac, NAB, and ANZ. So we know we will collect the data and compare it. So we know what is external influence to the business. So we can get data from CBA, from Westpac, and NAB. The second row is about Australia corporate tax rate is related high, though it is being reduced from 30% to 25% in the 2016 to 17 budget. This one, green light, we take from Australia Tax Office, and we can check the data from Australian Tax Office in 2017 and put in the case is about external data, and external data from political influence. It's not like external environment, so not in internal environment, and we can explain it. This will encourage business activity. So if we compare with another country here, so we can take the tax station from Philippines to comparison. So in the Philippines, the corporate tax rate is 30%, and in Indonesia it is 25%. So we know where we are and what the external factor can impact to the business. Okay, we're moving on in economy influences in Bechtel model. Here we can look here. Yeah, a lot of interesting about theory if we apply theory model in to realize a decision. So when we look in the theories, and some theory don't tell us is about the data, but it gives us some related information, and we can transfer related information to related data, and from the related data, we know that is corrected data for use uh, to analyze and to make a decision. So, and I will, I go back to economic influences. So we can look in here. It's about economy. So the disruption of technology from ANZ, digital banking, with cooperation from Google with a border banking ecosystem. So some some factor could impact that. So we illustrate what in our report. That is what is economy factor, and we put it in economy factor, and we illustrate by data, by corrected by on the data the number. But the number couldn't understand what the number what is and where it come from. For and we have to show them the number is come from economic influences, and the number come and how to get it. And of course, in the report, we don't involve Schwartz model and Bechtel model in the report. We just involved these some factors, and we will show them what factor, and we demonstrate by the number in the report, gap, or anything to illustrate the model. But in working, we don't know where to start and how to do that, and we couldn't circle the data and choose the corrected data. So in my opinion, we have to choose the model, apply it theories, and after that we consider the factor in the model, and from some consider factor model, we took the data from the model. Of course, we took the so how do we minimize? That's how we minimize the data and choose benefits data. And yeah, in here I do some factor could happen for to investor model to to show how it can impact on NZ offshore decisions. Sorry, because we just do one model, and if I have more time, and yeah, got a lot of time, so I have more time. Yeah, the other model is about butterflies force model. It's about internal data. So the internal data we can collect it from the organization, and based on this factor in butterfly force model, we put in the report that is the factor and from organization, and this factor could impact on the decisions, and of course we show them by evidence, show them by number in the report, not so by theory. So I just try to explain it. We don't take the model into the report. We just take the factor. It's no data factor. We see it is factor. So we minimize our research and choose the corrected data. And we know that is where it's come from. Okay, now I will moving on to what I thinking about effective data analysis management. Hmm. Hmm. As usual, in my opinion, it's about always about identify themselves myself first. After that, understand some trace goals like in the case one. I talk about knowing, doing, and being. So the first thing to become an effective data management is about know yourself. Knowing this means know yourself, knowing your strength, knowing your weakness. Doing is about how to play your role in the working world. How you do that. Being, what is your goal? So you have to research your goal and place. And the model can benefit for the first one is about SWOT model. So in SWOT model, we can put our ability, our identity in each case. So when we look at the model, we will know what is our strength, weakness, what are opportunity. Yeah, that's in my opinion. And and of course, to be a good management or effective management is about that. For me, there are four factors going to be for any management. It's about planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Planning, yeah, we have to plan first and before we do. So planning in this case means identifying the organization goals and what they request from us, and when they send our case to analyze something. So the case is have to be related to the goal, and the case have to be clear, have to be show the general idea. In separate case, demon show evidence by number, and and that's it, because that is they don't know about, they just look about what factor. I think so. So show it very clearly in the report, and you, you will be okay. So in here, I put some question for planning. Just for example, what goals the organization want to accomplish? Yeah, so general. So what action to achieve the goals? General too. Who will do that? For me, in my case, is about planning. When we receive the request from the manager, write report about, for example, in that case. So we have to plan it, and we do it, and based on your experience, based on your knowledge, based on your skill too, your individual skill. But all of them, what we call is planning. So planning is the first one you have to do before you start your job. You can do a management, to do management. Organize it. And put in here, creating a strong relationship between each member to achieve the goals. Not organize. And how you organize, how you create, like create good communication, create team working, or create sharing knowledge. So we can transfer the tacit knowledge to explicit knowledge. So most of them we have trust. We have share the vision. We have to trust each other, and we can share our knowledge. And if we share our knowledge, that's just about tacit knowledge. Sorry, that's about, yeah, when we say that's explicit knowledge. If we share our that we call explicit knowledge. So everybody in the group, if they trust together, they still competitive, but they trust. So they accept the explanation, and after that we do a good job. But that is one of them. The other thing very important is about knowing right person with specific skills, and yeah, for example, one guy is good in communication, is one good with communication, and of course he is a data analysis. So what he did, one guy is good about data analysis and programming. He good at SQL. We have to put the right people in the right job, so they can do performance. They can do better because they believe themselves. They do a right job, and that is how I think organize everything to achieve the goals. Organize people, organize works, organize um, relationship to achieve the goals, achieve my goals, to become an effective data analysis management. Turo is about letting and controlling. Letting like a letter, and you. But I really don't like letting well, because I think in my view, if I become a data management, I will write a friendly working environment. That is encourage people communicate, it believe each other, sharing its experience, and share the vision. So and I don't like to punish or do something or become a manager. I play with them at the same roles, and I don't think I'm a manager. So, but I put in there about a curve management is a letter. So I put in here is about how to influence people, how to influence them to writing. That is, and the last one, controlling. It's about establishing and monitoring the actions to achieve the goals. So we have to make a plan. Yeah, of course we make a plan. We have to monitor. We have to decide which time we have to do the goals, and which is good, which is not good, and which one is best for fits the time. Okay, that's it. That's about my opinion about effective data analysis management. I hope I will be okay. Thank you very much. See you.